very, very quickly, just at the end, I think they're putting the food out in a minute. Lots of the big companies throw masses and masses of money at research and testing and all of this, which none of us can really ever even touch. But I think some of it is quite nice to know what goes on, and some of it you can do low cost or free on a very small basis at home. So we'll have a quick little look at 3 sort of case studies. They're all from the latest Figaro digital magazine that's just come out, which is quite a good little magazine actually for our ideas. One is the luxury brands, and while none of us might exactly be on par with Chanel, they're saying that 2010 is going to be the year where they cotton on. They've been very protective, going, oh, it will devalue our brand if we sell online and we're not going to do it. But hey presto, along comes the recession and everybody changes the tune a little bit. And because people like Chanel is going online, others are forecasted to go, yeah, we're not going to miss out now. They do things slightly different. While we go, oh, you know, you should put all your 3,000 products on Google Merchant and do as much as you can, they're offering very limited selection, so positioning themselves very differently online. Another thing which is completely against what we say about making it all easy and people should be able to get to everything is they make, some of them make access really hard. You can get to the website, but then you actually have to ring them up and prove that you're really important and valuable and know someone high up, and then they'll let you into the site. So it's a little bit like when they've got the big bouncer at the door in the posh shops, and if you're wearing anything from H&M, they're not going to let you through. So they're trying to replicate that online. So a very different way of thinking, but if you're trying to position something enormously exclusive online, I don't know if it's for you.
It's cost the web ruins gross margin if you go on price, so they're trying to create exclusivity and build
completely
premium, not a value offering. Really.
Yeah.
It's a sort of very deliberate attempt to get away from that kind of price wars and stuff.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, the fact that some of the tailors on Savile Row relaunched the site and increased 350% increase in sale is a lot. And if anybody has been seen as a very old-fashioned, snobby kind of business, it's the tailors at Savile Row.
A suggestion then, half the room do exactly the opposite of what we tell you.
Well, we are targeted on these things, I don't know. Maybe not half. Another thing that's a big buzzword at the moment for the big companies is multi-variety testing. Is anybody doing any kind of, I don't know, even if it's A/B testing or different stuff at the moment? I mean, these people throw huge amounts of money at lots of different automatic testing and do lots of clever things. But even on a very small basic, you can try stuff. You can have a little bit of a version A for a month and see what happens. Change it to a little version B. Maybe you change the colors. Maybe you change the pictures. Maybe you change just small things to see if anybody spots it, what people filter out.
You can't change that if you've got a bespoke site. You can't change a bit of colour here and a bit of this there.
No.
Can you?
No. There is that.
Can you just pay for it?
You can if you can.
Yeah.
Every little bit of change.
I want to see John Russell's website with or without that girl on it.
Yeah. That's it.
Perfect A/B test.
Yeah, that's worth it.
Put the girl on, put someone much older and fully dressed, and it might not have the same effect at all. Another area where this is good, we mentioned earlier that Han has just done a big e-shot and sent it out to 6,000 people. What you would typically do, especially if an agency does e-shots for you, I think you should, as a minimum, require, especially on a big sample like that, they should do an A/B testing on the subject. So maybe send 300 emails out with subject line A, 300 emails with subject line B. You see which one gets opened most, and then that's the version you send to the other 5,000 people, as opposed to just send it out and go, oh, that wasn't very successful, I wish I had gone for the other one. So a great way to, on a very small scale, and you can do this even if you're sending out your own emails, if you've got any level of software that will tell you the opening rate, you can send it out, just divvy them down in small chunks. And the other thing is send it out and then maybe the week after send it again to everybody that didn't open it the first time, because that will hugely increase your opening rate. So lots of different ways, and for landing pages, if you're doing landing pages for your e-shots, measure which one works the best, which one clicks through, which one converts, and go for the one that works best.
There's a big chunky cliche about testing, which is if you spend £1,000 you get 10 grand on the bottom line. That's your return on it.
Yeah. It does, on e-shots, it does make a really big difference. I mean, it doesn't make a difference if your sample group is 5 and 5 and, you know, you can't see anything. But when you're talking numbers like this, if you send it out to 300 and 300, you can really see a significant difference. And the beauty of it is, when you're in a company, you guys are okay if it's just you and you can do whatever you want. But if you're in a business and someone says, well, I think this is going to be best, and someone else says, well, I think this is going to be best, you just send them out and it's very obvious which one was best, and it takes all the whole, well, I think and I feel out of the equation. BT did a lot of stuff and they increased their conversion rate with 37% on their key landing pages, and 37% is quite a big increase in conversion rate. I think, you know, a lot of people would love to have that. Last one, big buzzword, is this retargeting. I don't...
Is it another one of John Russell's websites?
Yes, she could do well on his side, I'm sure. It says that 98% of retail shopping carts are abandoned. That is a high percentage, and I don't, you know, I didn't make it up, this is what they say. But it makes retargeting worth a lot of money for people. Retargeting is this issue of when people have left your site, how do you possibly grasp them and get them to come back again? So what they're getting very clever with at the moment is sites that have got banners on them. So people will pay for banner advertisement like they used to, but the technology behind the sites are clever enough now to know this user visited the Republic website a couple of days ago, so instead of showing them the H&M banner, I'm going to serve up the Republic banner. So it's getting quite clever in how it serves up the ads. And these guys, the Republic, they actually increased 242% in their return conversions, and on top of that, increased the amount of people's value. And I trust that's because they saw the, I don't know, offer of the special T-shirt on the banner ad, and also thought, oh well, I was actually buying a pair of trousers the other day, I'll have both. Expensive stuff and out of the reach of a lot of people, but keep in mind where you're serving up your ads. If you are doing stuff online, where are you likely to see people who have already maybe been on your site and been exposed to it before? We had some examples of maybe how not to do it. Alan had a good example. He said he was on a site and abandoned the shopping cart and kind of gave up on it. And the people rang him up a couple of hours later going, well, you've just abandoned your shopping cart, why did you do that? And that might not be the way to go about it, because you think...
A bit spooky to say the least.
Yeah.
On the memory card.
So be subtle with how you do these things. Other people, I'm sure everybody has had the email from someone saying, oh, you've abandoned your shopping cart. If you want to go back to it, please click here and it's all still ready, and just press the buy now button. So there's ways of doing it in different sorts of things. At old work, we had language courses site, and if people have gone through enough and left their details and then abandoned, we would sometimes ring them up and say, we've noticed you've abandoned it yesterday, we're just checking there was no technical issues with the site, which is slightly more subtle than, why did you do that for? So kind of be a little bit calm in how you go about these things. But it's quite good if you've got something in place where you can see if people have abandoned it, and you have a system that can cope with handling it in case you can convert some people.